Welcome to the Vertical MRO Alerts, brought to you by Bell. Here's a quick look at notable service directives recently released from Bell Aircraft.
All right, welcome to the Bell MRO Alerts podcast presented by Bell. My name is Marc Dubé. I'm with Gabriel. I'm a product support engineer manager for Bell. I've been in the business for 20 plus years. I'm an AME, aircraft maintenance engineer. Recent 7 years I've been with Bell. And today we're here to talk about the MRO podcast alerts. I'm with Gabriel Leveille. Gabriel?
7 years already, huh? Time flies, huh?
Yeah, time flies, yeah.
Yeah, for myself, going on actually 17 years. Yeah, and if I count my 2 years at college, I'm going on 30 years now in the
30
business.
years in the business.
Yeah, 30 years in the business. But before Bell, same as you, aircraft maintenance technician. And where I worked, they gave us the opportunity to also get our pilot's license.
So Gabriel's also a pilot with and flying with Bell, actually.
Yeah, and I'm leaving on Thursday. I haven't told you, but on Thursday I'm leaving for a ferry, Piney Flat. So
good one. Gabriel is also part of the product support engineering group with Bell. We're here today to really launch a new podcast series that we want to do with Bell. Which we call the MRO Alerts podcast. The goal here is to discuss about service directives that we may have issued, and we want to give maybe a little bit more meat around the service directive and explain some portion of those service directives. So first thing we'll do is we'll talk about what's a service directive. So Gabriel, can you explain what a service directive for Bell is?
Yes, Mark. And actually, the question sounds simple, and I gave it some thought. And actually, it comes down to the fact that a service directive is an official means of communication that we utilize as part of an approved process.
Correct.
Bell utilizes this communication path to send to our Bell owners and operators information on matters that pertains to our helicopter models. That's pretty much what I came up with.
That's
a definition.
A very good definition. Thanks, Gabriel. So you mentioned that these are documents, basically, that we will issue to those to owners, operators, and maintainers to communicate something about their aircrafts. Correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And and I mentioned also there's a process. Within that process, the service directives, product support engineering is actually responsible to create these documents and to publish them online, actually.
Can we talk a little bit more about what those documents are? So maybe name various documents that we can issue?
Yeah, so the service directives, you can utilize ASBs. Like you'll notice there's a lot of acronyms at Bell. So ASBs for Alert Service Bulletins. Technical bulletins will be TBs. We have OSNs, Operations Safety Notice, and ILs for information letters.
All right, so 4 different documents that we can issue. So basically, let's start with the first one. So the Alert Service Bulletins, the ASB. What is an ASB, and why would we issue an ASB?
Yeah, the ASB is very important document. This is a bulletin that Bell will issue in the event that we have a safety concern.
Okay.
Yeah, and the compliance time will vary depending on the severity or the probability of that situation occurring.
So you can have a longer or shorter compliance time depending on that, again, severity and probability.
Yes,
okay.
That's correct. So the higher the severity and the higher the probability, the shorter the interval, and vice versa.
That's very good to know.
Yeah, and I'd just like to add the reason I bring that up for the lower severity, because at Bell, we do consider these ASBs as being mandatory.
Yes.
So even if some operators don't comply with our ASBs, because unless it's an AD, they don't need to comply. But there are some safety aspects that we do publish in these ASBs that will have a longer compliance time, because we consider an ASB as mandatory.
So the ASB is really issued by the OEM, so the manufacturer, and what you were referring to, the ADs, the airworthiness directives, are really issued by the local authorities, agency owners of the type certificate of the aircraft, basically responsible for it. All right. The ASBs also, one thing we wanted to mention is that the ASB are usually model specific. So you'll have an ASB for each model. Is that correct?
That's correct. And it will be also serial number specific in a lot of the occasions.
You'll have the effectivities and everything. So that's for the first service directives we wanted to talk about. The second one is the operational safety notice, so the OSN. Can you explain a little bit of what the OSN consists of, Gabriel?
Yeah, so during the team discussions, if they bring up a safety concern, but it's deemed not to be ASB type material, they can always decide to issue an OSN, so Operations Safety Notice. There are some rules behind releasing one of these OSNs where we do not want to introduce a new procedure.
Okay, so where an ASB, you would actually have an inspection or something that's required on the aircraft, which we have new steps for, and the OSN, it's already existing, we just want to emphasize on it.
Correct, and often the OSN will refer to a procedure either in like a flight manual, maintenance manual, or other.
Okay.
But it will just bring that to light for addressing this safety concern.
Interesting. Are OSNs usually model specific, or?
You can also have general OSNs.
Okay.
So you might have a situation, but applies across all models. So a Gen OSN will be utilized.
Perfect. So the OSN can really be either model specific or can be general to a specific operation or something. All right, so the next one we want to talk about is the technical bulletins, so the TB. So what are these used for, Gabriel?
Yeah, so a technical bulletin will bring matters to the attention of our customers, like a configuration change. It could also be like an improvement to the design. Anything that is non-safety related can be released in the form of a technical bulletin.
Are these mandatory or?
Well, they are optional,
Okay.
but some of these provide some added value. So some customers may need some equipment to operate within their own region. So maybe not mandatory for us, we offer as optional, but for them to be able to operate that kit or that configuration within that country, they may need to apply that TB for their own operations.
So they are highly recommended because they are improvements. They can be improvements about amongst other things they can be, but like you said, some operations may require that you do specific TBs for operators.
Yeah, the nice thing, these TBs often reflect the newest production configuration. So it's also added value for your aircraft.
All right. Thanks, Gabriel. So, and the last one we want to talk about is the information letters, so the ILs.
Yeah, same for the ILs. When I say same to the OSN, in this case, it's again a non-safety. These ILs cannot introduce either a new procedure. They can only reference an existing procedure or an existing standard.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it could be general information we want to share with our customers about specific subject also.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of the information that is conveyed in these ILs does not have to be like helicopter specific. It could be about a new process and how to contact product support as an example.
As an example, a very good example. So again, 4 different service directives that we have, the documents that we issue, which are basically under the responsibility of product support engineering, so PSE. The other thing we want to talk about is where can we find those documents. So maybe the first place we can find those documents is bellcustomer.com website. So why would we put and what's available on that website, Gabriel?
Yeah, so this website is free to access. There's no no username or password required. Bellcustomer.com. As soon as PSC would publish a new service directive, it will automatically be loaded there like immediately. if you are subscribed to the RSS feed, you will receive a notification that we've added or released a document or service directive.
So make sure you subscribe, because that's the way, one of the ways for you to actually receive the documents or notification of the documents that have been uploaded. And the reason also, Gabriel did mention that they are free of charge, and that's really for legal reasons. Everything that's safety related, those documents have to be provided free of charge.
Yeah, and just quickly something to add to that.
Yep.
So you are subscribed. So let's pretend that our viewers are subscribed.
Yep.
They get the notification, but they will notice that for those that are part of our Bell technical publications,
Yep.
they'll say, well, it's loaded here to this website, but it could take a delay before it actually makes it onto our publications website.
Which brings us to the second place where you can find the documents, the mybell.com website, so the technical publication website, whereas you have to actually pay fees to gain access. All service directives will be on that website with the maintenance manual, the flight manual, and so on. Can you maybe talk a little bit about how that specific website works, Gabriel?
As a subscribed user, so you have username, password. Once you access the site, you'll have access to the models that you're subscribed to.
So the fees are really model specific.
Very model specific.
So depending on which model you operate, you pay an X amount of money, which is why we have all the service directives free of charge on the other website again. We, Bell, are excited to kick off these MRO alerts as a way to better support you, our Bell customers, with important and timely information to safely maintain your aircraft. The MRO alerts do not replace the published documents. The information written in our documents must be followed at all times. Through these podcasts, we will leverage our team's many years of experience and insight to share supplemental information to help enhance your understanding. We won't be doing an MRO alert for every service directive we release, but strategically choosing the important ones where additional context would be beneficial. These will be released on the Vertical MRO podcast channel, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay updated on our latest service directives. For any additional information or questions regarding a service directive, please contact Bell Product Support Engineering at productsupport@bellflight.com. So guys, this is really an introduction to the MRO Alerts podcast presented by Bell. Very happy again. Thanks, Gabriel, for being with me today. We hope to have a whole lot of new episodes where we'll talk about maybe a little bit more detail about those documents that we published. Thanks a lot, and keep flying, Bell.
This has been a Vertical MRO Alert brought to you by Bell. As always, please make sure to look at the service directive for complete information.